Hey everybody, today I'm working on another craft project and I'm using my markers to do some coloring, and then I'll be using paints to paint some of these ornaments. And part of why I decided to record while I do this is because I like the sound of this packaging and the sound of the paintbrush and the brush markers. So what I am coloring are little wooden ornaments that I had custom made. So I want to go on there. I don't think it wants to stay on there. What about right there? There works. So I'm using a marker for the top section because I won't have to wait for it to dry. And I'm going to be covering it in glitter. And since I'm going to be covering it in glitter, I'm not worried that the color saturation isn't really strong, because hopefully I'll get enough glitter on there that you won't even notice that it was colored underneath all of the glitter. So this part is going to be glittered. And I also love the sound of the wood. And so this is going to become sort of a ramble video because I can't probably edit it very well, cutting dialogue in the video, or it's going to be a really noticeable edit when the color progress goes from like a drastically uncolored to all the way colored. And I haven't really done a intentional ramble video before, so let me know what you think about it after you've watched the video. I think this wood is called Balsa wood. And the craftsman who made it lives in my community. And actually I've bought items from him before. The first time I bought something that he crafted from this wood was guitar picks. And those were a custom order as well. I placed an order for, I think, 50 guitar picks that all had the design on it that said I Heart MB20. And MB20 stands for Matchbox 20. And those were meant to go into Christmas cards that year, and they never did, because I get so busy at this time of year that it's really hard to make time to follow through on the Christmas card effort. Besides just the busy time of year that it is for everybody, the nature of my job is also very busy at year end because I work in accounting. And there's a lot going on in accounting at the end of the year and getting ready for the next year. I haven't done a tracing video. That's not true. I did a tracing video a long time ago using these little geometric shapes. And that was fun. I was tracing the geometric shapes and coloring them in. But I haven't done another one for a long time. Those videos are not videos that I typically watch. And what's more normal for me is to create videos that I, as a viewer, would like to watch. So these ornaments, they say, it's a song lyric. It says, if the bright lights don't receive you, you should turn yourself around and come on home. And those are lyrics to a Matchbox 20 song called Bright Lights. So I got the idea for creating these custom ornaments when somebody else showed the cutout of the Christmas tree light. And in consideration of friends of mine who are also big Matchbox 20 fans, I thought that would be a cool shape to put some Matchbox song lyrics. So that's where that came from. In 2017, Matchbox 20 went on tour, and Bright Lights was the song that they probably almost always ended the concert with. It's a really energetic song. It starts out kind of lower energy, and by the time you're really into it, it's a pretty high energy song. See, the other custom job that I had requested from this craftsman was a wooden puzzle. If you submit a design to him, he can create I think either like a 100 piece or 500 piece or 1,000 piece. He has different options, how many pieces you want. So he can create a jigsaw puzzle using the images that you provide. And it came in a really nice box too. And so I used my own photos that I had taken at a concert, well, at a combination of several concerts, and created like a collage. And he took those images. He took my collage image, and he created a puzzle. I'd like to say that it's one of a kind, but actually he did give me a second one. And I gifted that to a friend. So between me and my friend, we have two of the same quote-unquote one-of-a-kind puzzles. Let's see. Craftsman also made some bookmarks, and the bookmarks were fun because they were big enough to put sort of a longer verse in, kind of like this. a little bit longer text than just the guitar pick. So I had a few of those made as well. I wasn't sure how well the markers would work on the wood, so I asked him if he could give me some scraps from the cutout so that I could test it. And of course he did. And I know that the paint is going to look a lot better on the wood than the marker. But like I said, the part that's being colored in black is going to get coated in glitter. Like I will after the paint and the marker stuff dries. I'm just going to paint a layer of Elmer's glue where you see this black and then dip it in silver glitter and make it a little extra sparkly, which is fun for the Christmas ornament. And these pens are actually going outside the line a little bit. These pens, I found them at a thrift store. They're Artist's Loft, which is the brand that is associated with Michael's craft stores. And they're not too bad. I'm always reluctant to buy markers at thrift stores because you don't know how dried out they'll be. So by the time they got to the thrift store, who knows how long they had been in somebody's collection. And then I've had them for a few years. And they're still doing, pretty well. They still have a nice tip on them. I think these are probably the kind of markers you use for pretty lettering. Trying to use the edge of the marker a little bit more than the tip, since the wood is probably pretty harsh on the tip. I thought about coloring the entire thing in a marker, but the saturation isn't strong. You can still see a lot of the wood grain behind there. And I really wanted to include yellow in the, I'm going to use different colors when I paint them. And I wanted one of the colors to be yellow, and the yellow marker wasn't showing up very well. It wasn't showing up at all. So that's what convinced me I really needed to use actual paint. And what other thing is cool about this is that when I saw this image online of this light bulb with the idea that you could customize the text inside, I sent it to the craftsman and asked if he could, quote me a price for making some. And I totally did not expect the outcome to be a 2-layer process. But he actually cut 2 pieces. Each of these is actually 2 pieces. And then he taped them together. And because I have shaky hands, I was really appreciative that he was willing to make the two pieces glued together. Because if you've watched some of my other crafting videos, you can see that stuff doesn't always line up or end up where I intend it to go because of my shaky hands. One of my recent videos includes the use of a craft knife or an X-Acto knife, which is always a little bit, what's the word? I have to be a little bit extra deliberate in my motions because of the shaking. The shaking is called an essential tremor, and I've had it for my whole life, and my sister has it too. One of my sisters has it. And it gets worse. The shaking is far more noticeable and far more just present when I'm hungry or when I'm emotional, such as being anxious or angry or scared. All of those emotions cause the shaking to, be stronger. And I used to do crafts that were like creating bead jewelry. And I worked with really fine beads. And it was very frustrating to try to do these craft projects with small beads and trying to string small beads. And that was what caused me to go to the doctor and ask, can we do anything about this shaking? And they prescribed a beta blocker. I don't remember the name of it. And so I was taking this pill, this beta blocker, not because I needed a beta blocker, but because the creators or developers had learned that it had this interesting unintended side effect, I guess, of helping people's shakes, like epilepsy. It treated epilepsy. I don't have epilepsy. So that was cool. It was like serendipity, right? But I took this prescription for 3 whole months, and I was nauseous for 3 whole months. I don't know what about that pill made me so nauseous, but I just didn't feel good. And I tried to, give my body enough time to sort of accept it, just, okay, body, sorry you're not liking this pill, but try to get used to it. But my body just never did get used to it, and I continued to be nauseous the whole time. And so I had to make a choice of what bothered me more, being nauseous or having my hands be shaky. And I chose to have the shaky hands. And you just deal with it, you just live with it. Okay. The marker coloring part is over. That part goes in there. Okay. And we'll get some paints. So we're going to have, let's see, how many? I have 12 light bulbs, I think. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I think if I do 4 colors, I'll do 3 of each color. So I'll do a yellow. There's an orange. I'm trying to get like the colors you see on your own twinkle lights on the tree. Here's a blue. I wish it was a darker blue, but I don't feel like mixing paint. Could do this blue. It's kind of blue purple. And we need red. Okay, so trying to decide if I should do a green. Include green in there. That looks a little more Christmas lights coloring. It comes with the little box. The assortment of paint that I bought came with this little thing. That's fun. I might just stick my paintbrush in the bottle itself, though. Is that okay? Do people do that? You don't have to have the exact identical distribution of colors. Maybe I'll paint with the yellow and it turns out I won't like it. I don't know. We'll see. This one is thick, so the color will go on there pretty quickly. Then if I turn it over, it's too big for the edge because I'm just doing the edge. So I'm just going to color all the backs, let them dry overnight, and then I'll color the fronts. So I'm just going to work with the wide brush right now. So let's see. I'm going to start with this. Yeah, my brush won't fit in there. So I have to use the little, what do you call this, palette. Just gonna, oops, that came out so fast. I can't believe it. Okay, let's try this. I kind of feel like here goes nothing because painting is not my typical hobby. I'm kind of winging it and kind of crossing my fingers that it turns out okay. I'm purposefully avoiding the edges that like the edge like is facing me because I don't want them painted. I'm realizing that like the amount of paint that I poured out is just way too much unless I make all of my light bulbs yellow, which I don't want to. It's too much. There's a flaw in the wood right there. Okay, let's see. That's pretty good. I think can I give it a second coat, or do you have to dry between coats? I don't know. I do not know. For some reason, I think you're supposed to make it dry in between, kind of like nail polish. Oh, it's getting in there. I didn't think about that. And it bled through. Shoot. And then I knock over my paint. I'm doing great. Let's see, I need a piece of tissue. I hope I don't make a bigger mess trying to clean it up. Pull it through. Hey, I did pretty good. I'm pretty proud of myself about that. Okay, I'll put that one up top to dry. Put the lid back on, since we almost had a spill. And we'll do one more yellow. You have to be careful of that heart to not push paint through it. I don't know why it's hard now to try to avoid that heart. But I can see some paint kind of puddling up right there. But it's not showing at the front. But you can see it. A new piece of tissue. To make sure you push it from the front and pull it from the back. Maybe I can sneak it through the front. Okay, good. Well, if I have 5 colors, 12 things, some color is going to have to be 3, so I guess I'll do it yellow. Since I already poured it in there. A little heavy-handed on the paint. I don't think there's a way to really avoid the heart. I think I just have to accept that it's going to get some paint in there and then circle back and clean it up. Because I don't want it to come through the top. I don't want it to come through the front. If I can possibly push it through. Okay, we're done with the palette. Alright. To rinse off the yellow. This is called a wash brush. So I'm sure that I'm not really supposed to be decorative painting with it. a little bit of water right here. Squeeze it out. This is super bright orange. I love it. It's like pumpkin orange. This one I don't even feel like I need the 2 layers on it because it's so vibrant in a single layer. Make sure that paint isn't sneaking into the front. There we go. Do another orange. That was like the perfect amount of paint too. How did that happen? The reason for not wanting to mix paint or blend a color is because of having to do the front and the back and trying to get them to match. Kind of don't want the stripes to show up. Okay, we're done with the orange. Mix that into the water. Let's try some, let's see, it's called, let's see this color. Ultramarine. I'll try some ultramarine. I wonder if it's been used yet. I hope so. Maybe it hasn't. Oh, it hasn't been used yet. We have to take off the stopper. Okay, now I can squeeze out just a little bit. That's a pretty color. Trying to decide, is it true to color? Like when you're looking at your Christmas tree lights, do you have a light bulb that is this color? I don't know if I do. I really like it though. I think there is a blue this color on the strand of lights. There's something there. I don't know what it is. It looked like a bristle or something. Yeah, I like that color a lot. It's coming through to the front. I should have grabbed was Q-tips. Will probably fit in there just perfectly. Shoot, it got on the front because I'm shaking. I just made it really bad, you guys. There's a big smear of it right there. I don't know if I can do anything about it. Try to wipe it away with some water. It looks like it's coming off a little bit. Just a little. I don't think it's going to get any better than that. That's not too bad. I did just get my fingers all in it, though. There we go. That's such a pretty blue. I'll do another one like that. I'm going to a company Christmas party tonight, and now I have paint all over my hands. I hope it cleans up. This color just doesn't like me. Okay. Done with the ultramarine. Kind of wondering if I maybe shouldn't have even tried to paint them. Just let them be wooden ornaments. Okay, we have 5 more to go. 3 of them can be red, and the other 2 will be green. Oh my gosh, that's too much. share my paint on another ornament because it was too much. Well, I thought it was too much, and now I need more. See if this does better than the paper towel. Yep. Do you ever watch videos on YouTube of how to do acrylic painting? And they make it look so easy. And I really wish that I had a talent or a skill for painting. Watercolor painting is what I really want to do. There, that worked out really well. I think I have a little bit inside the heart, but not very much. Okay, we're gonna have one more red and then 2 green. Just a tiny bit more right there. I'm surprised I haven't had more paint on my work surface. Given that I tend to be pretty messy. Not on purpose, of course. Okay. Just these 2 are left. This one looks like you maybe spilled some glue or something on it. So we'll see how the paint interacts with that spot. Like this bottle says grass green. I was hoping for a Kelly green. I was hoping for a Kelly green in my collection of paints, but I don't see one. This looks like it hasn't been opened. It's got that stopper. Oh my gosh, I did too much again. That is a really bright green. It's called grass green, but if your grass is this green, I don't know if that's healthy. It almost looks neon. Very, very bright. Bright lights. Hope I didn't just push it through to the front. I totally did. Try to pick it up. Just making it worse. I knew it as soon as I was doing it. I thought, no, don't go from that direction. This looks like it's working well, though. I hope. That cleaned up pretty good. We'll just brush this a little bit more right there. Okay, last one. A lot of paint gets trapped in the brushes. Okay. So I'm going to clean up my hands as best I can and go enjoy some Christmas party stuff. And then I'll be back tomorrow to do the other sides. Okay, we've time traveled through the overnight paint drying experience, and the light bulbs turned out pretty good. Some of them are kind of smearing something, and I don't know what it is. So I'm not positive that if I paint it again, that I'm not going to get the smearing again. So, and because they're the back sides, I'm just going to leave them as is on the back. But I am going to paint the fronts. So I'll separate them by their colors. And this one, actually I'll put another coat on this because this one I'm not sure. I think there was some glue back there that kind of makes it a little more discolored. So start. What was that? One was red. That one. The paintbrush is really hard on that one. I think this one is probably more flexible. I'll use this one. Just see if there's a better option. Oh, that one's really soft. I'll keep those two out. Yep, starting with the yellow. Oh, there's a bunch of orange stuff on there. I have no idea how that happened. I think I can use the paint that's inside the front. trace the outside edge. This one is a little bit trickier to do than the back side because you're following a narrow path. And I'm trying to make sure I don't get any paint along the edges, just along the top. This is a very bright yellow. So I'm just making sure I filled in all of the empty spaces. There we go. So after I finish coloring the edges with the paint colors, I'm going to use Mod Podge to sort of seal the paint in, almost like a shellac. And then I'm going to completely paint the tip in Mod Podge or Elmer's glue and dunk it into glitter to make the top super glittery. So I'm wondering what you guys think of this compared to tracing. It's kind of tracing an outline with a paintbrush. So last yellow one. There we go. I'm just going to touch this one up a little bit. It's not very smooth right here. done with the 12th light, when I circle back to the first one, if it'll be dry enough for me to do the Mod Podge one at a time. And I'm realizing I probably should have put them in order of finishing them so that I would know which one had been driest the longest. But I hadn't thought that far ahead. I just know that I did the yellows first, and then the green, and then the orange, and I'm about to do the red. Using the lid of the paint bottle was working out pretty well. There's a train in the background. The train tracks are between 2 and 2.5 miles from where we live. And I'm always surprised that I can hear them. I can hear the train whistles from 2 miles away. I've taken a couple of train rides in my life. One of them I don't remember very well. I was very young, probably a teenager, or a little bit younger than a teenager. And the other one was in 2000, I want to say 2018 maybe. Yeah, I think it was 2018. And we took the train through the Cascade Mountains to a little town called Leavenworth. And it's this cute little touristy town. We went there somewhere between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And because it's in the mountains, it's very scenic. And there was some snowfall when we got there. We came in late at night. So most of the town was closed for the night, for being just a small touristy town. But we still put on our cold weather boots and walked from the hotel into downtown. And the lights were all lit. And it was a winter wonderland. It was just beautiful. Seeing all the Christmas lights. And there's a small little sort of I don't even want to call it a hill, but a little park that has a small hill that people will slide down on little sleds. Slide down the little snowy hill. And that was a lot of fun, seeing it all lit up and watching people have fun in the snow. And then the next morning, we were excited to go into town in the beautiful winter scenery. But the rain had replaced the snow, and it was just kind of rainy and slushy. It was still a good trip. And it's a fun place to go at any time of year. It's really picturesque. I just dipped my finger in the green paint. We typically go during the fall because I like seeing the autumn colors through the mountains. But we had always wanted to go at least one time during the Christmas season. But I don't want to drive up the pass because it's not very safe. And some people drive the pass with no problem. But I always see news stories about accidents on the pass or closing the roads for avalanche control or people getting stuck. And that just seems like the worst. One of the worst things that can happen. Okay, that was it for the red. One where it kind of bled out right there. I cleaned it as best as I could. That train is still going and on in the background. This wood is just like super thirsty. It's really sucking up the paint. I really hope that when I put some Mod Podge on it, that it makes it look, it's like a glossiness to it. Make it look a little more sheer. So I started with yellow, and if it's dry, then I think I can Mod Podge it, and it does appear to be pretty, yeah, it's pretty dry, so I'm going to go ahead and Mod Podge the front and the back, but I'm not going to do the glitter dipping yet. Just do this Mod Podge. It's by Plaid. Actually, I think I am going to try to do the glitter at the same time. Holographic glitter. And this will be my receptacle for shaking it on there. My goals. Oh my gosh, I just totally smeared the marker One thing I hadn't thought about was not getting this re-moistened because it just completely smeared black stuff into my yellow. So I'm going to just finish a layer of that, and then I'm going to paint this yellow again. Now I'm going to use a brush that will only be used on this, on the tip, so that if it stains things black, it won't matter. But that means I do need to create a pile of Mod Podge outside of its container, little shot, what do you call it, shot glass? Shot glass size disposable cup. So I'm going to paint both sides of the tip, and I'm going to have a lot of glue on there, Mod Podge. Just going to have a really generous layer there. And then sprinkle the glitter. This works pretty well. About this side. I was not very careful right here. That is super tinsel. It looks like tinsel. I like it, you guys. And then I'll just put it in my little egg carton. This is such a mistake back here, but I'm glad I made this variety of mistakes on the one that had a flaw in the wood grain anyways. So this will be one that I keep, and I'll send the others to my friends, assuming I don't mess them up any worse. Okay, so we'll try the next one, and I think I can probably do a bit better job than the first one. Got glitter everywhere, so I have to avoid the marker so that I don't drag the color into the rest of the ornament. It's a little bit heavy on the Mod Podge. That's okay because it dries clear. The back side. And this is just basically sealing in the paint and giving it a bit of a glossy sheen, but a little too much on the front, so I'm trying to disperse it. And I don't really want it puddling up inside that heart. And then we're going to use our special paintbrush for the black marker section. And leave a generous coat of Mod Podge there. Trying not to go into the yellow. Okay. And then I want to sprinkle the glitter. And I want to keep it as much within the black section as possible. I spilled over too much right there. It's going to look like an 8-year-old.